Guys, Doxy.ai launched back in 2021, won the Nashville startup competition, called 120,000 bucks there. We were doing about $5,000 a month a year ago, now doing 50. That's $50,000 per month across 8 customers. They help you automate anything that relates to paper, right? So they say it as sort of like the GPT automated AI bot that takes care of all of your paperwork right now, focused on, sounds like, insurance industry, where there's a lot of paperwork that historically hasn't been able to be automated. We'll see where it goes from there. They're charging $15,000, $100,000 sign up fees, 75,000 pre-seed round raised back in 2022 at a 10 million cap. Hey folks, my guest today is Austin Ambrosi. He's building an AI-powered paperwork employee at doxci.ai. That's doxy.ai. Austin, you ready to take us to the top?
Yes, sir.
All right, what is that? What's a paperwork employee?
So the official term used in the industry is intelligent document processor, an IDP, and effectively the mission of the company is to put paperwork on autopilot. So that could take the form of a variety of ways. It depends on the nature of the paperwork and the workflow that it's associated with.
And so give me an example of a customer that uses you today and what paper workflow they've automated.
So one of our clients is an insurance company. They get all of their applications for coverage to a designated email inbox. Typically, whenever someone applies for insurance, they send in some supplementary documents, proof of address, driver's license, a couple things like that. So Doxy will monitor the email inbox. It will read whenever an email comes in for applying for coverage. It'll read that email. It'll read each of the corresponding documents. It'll then calculate a rate that can be offered to the prospect based on the information provided. And then since people are human and forget to submit things, it'll automatically draft an email back to them saying, hey, this is the rate that we can offer you. If you submit X, Y, and Z pieces of additional information, we might be able to offer you a better rate. It sends the email, and that whole process is now automated and doesn't require human involvement at all.
Wow. How do you price? What's the average customer pay per month or per year?
So the way we have our pricing set up is we have one upfront implementation fee, which varies from anywhere from $15,000 to $100,000, depending on the nature of the architecture that we're integrating with. If it's a newer system and it's just a few API calls, then it's on the cheaper end of things. And if it's some older legacy systems, then it's on the pricier end of things. And that's for the implementation fee. And then after that, there's no licensing fees. It doesn't matter how many people use the system. We charge based on throughput, so cost per page model. And we're in the process of converting to set tiers. So it'd be sort of like buying minutes for a cell phone plan.
And give me a general sense of what someone processing, I don't know, 1,000 pages per month might pay.
$250.
Okay, interesting. What does your average customer pay today?
Honestly, that's tricky because we have some clients that are only paying $3,000 a month, and we have other clients that's kind of our floor. I would say is around the 10 to 12,000 pages a month is kind of the smallest client that we've seen so far. And then we've also got another client that's paying close to, or well, they just signed, but they'll be paying close to $100,000 a month per once they reach full maturity.
Okay, what would they start out at though?
They're going to start out at $12,500 a month.
Interesting. And are those the two customers you have today, or do you have more customers?
We have more customers. As far as the total number, I should probably know that off the top of my head, but I actually
What's a range?
Less than 10.
Okay, got it. So when did you guys launch?
We launched technically 18 months ago, but we have been refining the product like mad. And we started off as known as Slipbot, and we recently rebranded. So when we started, we were limited to one document type in one industry, and that was the reinsurance slip in the reinsurance industry. And we were making strides with that. We won Startup Showdown in Nashville. There were 300 companies that entered. We came in first place, won $120,000 from Panoramic Ventures. But we still were only limited to the reinsurance industry at that time. And, it was a great niche, but we were not picking up steam like we are now. We started working with a management consultancy firm that has been largely involved in the software purchasing decisions of several of the top 10 or top 5 reinsurance companies in the world. And so they brought us some of their toughest documents that people have been unable to crack throughout the years. And by the time that we refined the product to the point that it was able to handle those documents, we realized that we could take on any document in any industry. And so 3 months ago, we rebranded to Doxy, and now we're definitely picking up steam.
But the company back when you filed with Delaware or wherever, when was that? 2021?
That was yes.
2021. Oh, what's going on there, YouTube? Good to see you guys. Now imagine this. You love watching these interviews with SaaS founders, but imagine if we took all of the valuation data out from over 2,807 interviews I've done manually. Saves you a lot of time. Well, we've done this. We've built it into the beautiful interface inside of FounderPath. Check this out. I'll show you how you can access this in a second, but you log in, you connect your Stripe account, you see your valuation real time, you can see what it changed over the past 88 days, and even set goals for valuation this year. Now, the secret to valuation is there's many different ways to value a SaaS business. So the reason you're going to see 3 or 4 different valuations inside of your FounderPath dashboard, this is all free by the way, is because depending on who's doing the buying of your SaaS company, you're going to get a different valuation. A VC is going to pay a different valuation. Private equity firm is different. If you're going to do a minority sale, that's different. And if you sell the whole business, that's a different valuation. You can see all those when I hover over here. Right, so the teal is what a VC would pay, yellow is what private equity, and red is if you sold the whole thing outright. Now, what's cool about this is not built off random data. Again, you guys hear these interviews on YouTube. All these data are built from real-time valuation data points founders share with us on the show. So traction, 1.2 million, seed round, 3.7 raise, they sold 22% of their business. Go in here and filter by the event. Maybe you only want to see companies that have sold the whole business. Well, here are a bunch that have been acquired, the valuation and the multiple. Maybe you're going out right now and you're raising your seed round. Well, go in here and look at all this recent seed deals that went down, what they raised, what valuation they raised at, and what percent that they sold. There's never been a larger data set of SaaS valuations than what you can get now inside of FounderPath, and we're thrilled to bring it to you. All right, we're going to go back to the YouTube video here in a second, but if you want to check this tool out, if you want to jump in and sign up, you can check it out for free to get your valuation at this link, founderpath.com/products/valuations. Or if you go to founderpath.com and hover over products, click on get your valuation here and go ahead and sign up to give it a whirl. Again, all that valuation data live right inside the platform. I hope to see you there. All right, let's jump back into the interview. You fund yourself early with $120K from the National Startup Competition. That was also in 2021?
That was in 2022. That was actually this past September.
Okay. And have you bootstrapped since then, or have you raised any equity?
We raised 75 grand from an angel investor. That was, I believe, July 2022 or June.
Okay. Okay. Was that how do you determine the cap on that or the paper that they sit on?
It's on the vehicle we're using is a safe with a $10 million post money valuation and
okay, 10 million cap, 20% discount.
No. I was going to say 24-month conversion date.
Oh, interesting. Is there a discount there or no discount?
I had no discount.
No, that's great. Okay, cool. So you get that in, and it was a strategic value there. Like, why? Obviously, you want to keep as much equity as possible. Why even let an angel in?
We knew that we had a ways to go with product development, and it was just it made the most sense. Raise money when you need it, and when you don't need it.
Who's we? You keep saying we. How many co-founders?
There's two co-founders, Isaac Hicks and myself. And then total employee count now, I believe that we're at 11 full-time, and we've got an additional 4 or 5 part-time contractors on the sales side.
Mm-hmm. Did Isaac, and when you were negotiating with him, the hardest part about co-founding is negotiating equity at the start. Did you guys just split 50-50?
No, Isaac has more than I do because he's the technical one between the two of us, and he's the real wizard with
like 60-40 kind of split.
Yeah.
Okay, very cool. That felt fair to you at the start?
Yeah.
Very cool. All right, moving forward. Again, you've got 11 folks now. You've got 8 customers. This would be interesting. Across your current paid customers, how many pages are you processing monthly?
Total monthly, I believe that is somewhere, let's see here. I should know the answer to that as well. I honestly don't know the answer to that. Let me think about that.
Is it in the millions or hundreds of thousands or tens of thousands?
It's in the hundreds of thousands.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hundreds of thousands per month. Okay, and so what does that mean in terms of translating that to revenue? I mean, if I take 8 customers, paying somewhere
We're,
between three
we're
k
at
and ten
about
k.
we're at about 50 we're at about 50K MRR right now. With the client that we just signed on, whenever they reach full maturity, that number will be at about 150.
And if you're at 50k of MRR today, where were you exactly a year ago? Do you remember?
Exactly a year ago. Let's see here. It's exactly a year ago. I think we were only at like four or 5,000 MRR.
Yeah, well, that's good growth. It sounds like the rebrand is working nicely, which is great. Talk to me about the setup fee, though. This feels to me like that would make it really hard for anyone to try you and sign up. They have to spend 15,000 to 100,000 just to get set up.
Yeah, so it's it's actually a lot cheaper than what our competitors are charging. One of our competitors is well, I'm not going to name our competitors, but one of our competitors is charging like $200,000 to $300,000 for implementation. One of our competitors, probably the market leader, they have like $1 million minimum. So they are
Who is that?
definitely.
The market leader?
I mean, I guess it's up for debate, but there's you have Instabase, Indico Data. Um, those are probably the two biggest.
Okay, so you're just comping based off what they do. One's 250,000 set up, one's a million minimum.
Well, I mean, comparing in terms of the expensive is relative, right? So like they're definitely trying to gear towards enterprises where though we plan to serve some enterprises, we're taking a slightly different approach because one, we want to go after a lot more mid market opportunities, especially as the public awareness around AI continues to grow. So we're definitely trying to target mid market more, and then also just with the multiples that we're seeing in this industry, the multiples are so high that we would rather try to reduce the upfront cost as much as we can, just to and some grow our MRR.
No, that makes good sense. Okay, so $50,000 per month. We'll see what happens. What do you think you'll finish this year at?
Honestly, I have no idea. We have a couple seven figure deals in the pipeline right now. So I mean, those are with enterprises. There's a million ways that those could fall through. So I don't know. I try not to think about that stuff.
How are you managing burn today?
Um, by just living very lean startup for life.
So you're not paying yourself.
I took my first paycheck. I think it was less than a month ago. It was a couple like 2-3 weeks ago. I took my first paycheck out of the 18 months that we've launched.
So are you guys burning money today? Or are you profitable?
With this new client that we just signed, we will be profitable here in like I think should be about a month.
Okay. How do you think about that? Balancing profitability versus growth.
I try to keep a very tight gauge on team morale. And so I don't think that we need. I'm much more concerned with making sure that people are happy with their salaries and that people are feeling good about their upward trajectory with what we're doing here than I am about paying for big PR releases or paying for the flashiest software packages and things like that. Obviously, there's a bit of a balancing act there because you give your team better tools, they're going to be they're going to be feeling happier with with work, obviously. But that I try to it's definitely about the people.
Yep. All right. Very good. Let's wrap up here with the famous five. Number one, favorite book.
Favorite book. I'm going to say The Monk Who Sold His Ferrari.
Yep. Number two, is there a CEO you're following or studying?
CEO that I'm following or studying? A lot. I can't boil that down to one.
Number three, what's your favorite online tool for building Doxy?
I wish I had a less cliche answer, but Slack.
Number four, how many hours of sleep do you get every night?
That varies. We'll call it 7.
All right, fair enough. And situation, married, single, kids?
Single. So yeah, gosh, I can't.
And how old are you?
I'm 27.
All right, Austin. Last question. Something you wish you knew 7 years ago when you were 20.
The AI was going to revolutionize everything.
Guys, Doxy.ai launched back in 2021, won the Nashville startup competition, called 120,000 bucks there. We were doing about $5,000 a month a year ago, now doing 50. That's $50,000 per month across 8 customers. They help you automate anything that relates to paper, right? So they say it as sort of like the GPT automated AI bot that takes care of all of your paperwork right now, focused on, sounds like, insurance industry, where there's a lot of paperwork that historically hasn't been able to be automated. We'll see where it goes from there. They're charging $15,000, $100,000 sign up fees, 75,000 pre-seed round raised back in 2022 at a 10 million cap. We will see where they go from here. Austin, thanks for taking us to the top.
Thanks, sir.
One more thing before you go. We have a brand new show every Thursday at 1 p.m. Central. It's called Shark Tank for SaaS. We call it Deal or Bust. One founder comes on, 3 hungry buyers. They try and do a deal live, and the founder shares back-end dashboards, their expenses, their revenue, ARPU, CAC, LTV, you name it, they share it. And the buyers try and make a deal live. It is fun to watch every Thursday, 1 p.m. Central. Additionally, remember, these recorded founder interviews go live. We release them here on YouTube every day at 2 p.m. Central. To make sure you don't miss any of that, make sure you click the subscribe button below here on YouTube, the big red button, and then click the little bell notification to make sure you get notifications when we do go live. I wouldn't want you to miss breaking news in the SaaS world, whether it's an acquisition, a big fundraise, a big sale, a big profitability statement, or something else. I don't want you to miss it. Additionally, if you want to take this conversation deeper and further, we have by far the largest private Slack community for B2B SaaS founders. You want to get in there. We've probably talked about your tool if you're running a company, or your firm if you're investing. You can go in there and quickly search and see what people are saying. Sign up for that at nathanlatka.com/Slack. In the meantime, I'm hanging out with you here on YouTube. I'll be in the comments for the next 30 minutes. Feel free to let me know what you thought about this episode. And if you enjoyed it, click the thumbs up. We get a lot of haters that are mad at how aggressive I am on these shows, but I do it so that we can all learn. We have to counter those people. We got to push them away. Click the thumbs up below to counter them, and know that I appreciate your guys' support. All right, I'll be in the comments. See ya.